So I've been working out for quite some time and I've definitely made some mistakes along the way, both within the gym and also within the kitchen. Honestly, if there was someone who could guide me at those beginning stages to help me avoid the mistakes that are almost inevitable for everyone who starts off their fitness journey, then I would have made so much more progress in those initial stages and I would have saved a whole lot of time. And time is money, time is finite, and saving that is one of the best things that you could do. So I did start working out when I was around 17, I'm now 24, so approximately 7 years. And I've learned a whole lot along the way. And I'd love to share with you guys 5 massive mistakes that I made in those beginning stages to do with nutrition and working out that could have saved me a whole bunch of time and made me so much more progress if I had just avoided these altogether. So my first mistake has everything to do with food. And this is not understanding the importance of nutrition. So when I first started out, my diet was looking absolutely horrendous. Now, what I was doing in those initial stages was intermittent fasting, which is completely fine, it's good, but I was doing it under such a low amount of calories per day. I was eating something around 600 calories per day, because my approach was that in order to look shredded, look like the guys in the magazines, all you had to do was lose weight. All you had to do was just continue to drop off the poundage and eventually you'd look like a shredded beast. But that is not the case whatsoever. There is 2 sides to the coin. There's the building up the muscle phase and then there's the shredding down the fat. Without both of those in place, you can never build the most optimal physique for yourself. So like I said, I was eating around 600 calories per day and that was coming primarily from vegetables. So I would fast all throughout the day and that was completely fine. But when it came time to eat, I would have lunch and I'd have like a bag of carrots with maybe a bit of peanut butter or an apple or this and that. I would have very, very low amount of calories throughout the day. And as such, I dropped so much weight. I got down to about 54 kilograms, which is just extremely light. It was so underweight for my current height. So I quickly learned that that was not the way to go about doing things. And I quickly made the transition into a nice steady calorie surplus that would allow me to focus on improving my performance within the gym and as such, putting on muscle mass and keeping the fat stores off altogether. So when it comes down to it, your training within the gym is going to be all for nothing if you cannot tick the boxes outside of the gym in terms of what you are actually intaking on a day-to-day basis. So the major mistake that I would like you guys to avoid is to not get caught up in major fad diets and make sure you get in an adequate amount of calories each and every day, especially if you're trying to build muscle and improve your physique and performance within the gym. Focus on a nice steady intake of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and ensure that the calories that are coming in for the day are matching what goals you're actually trying to tick off. Now, once the nutritional side is all covered, there is also a bunch of mistakes that go in within the gym. And one of the major ones for me was lifting too heavy, and I've got a bunch of terrible form videos. I guarantee you, like, they're absolutely horrendous, like back snapping stuff, doing Romanian deadlifts, regular deadlifts, bench pressing, shoulders about to pop out, and that is just not the way to go about doing things, guys. Getting an injury is one of the worst things you could do within the gym because we are trying to make a nice, long, steady amount of progress, and getting an injury is just going to set yourself back weeks, months, and maybe even years, depending on how severe it possibly is. But as a beginner, I know that it can be extremely tempting to lift heavy, your ego gets involved and you just want to show off, or you want to push yourself as much as you possibly can, but you want to be pushing yourself in a reasonable sense. If you're breaking down your form and you're putting yourself in an injury risk just so you can lift a little bit more weight, then that is just not a good trade-off. But I was very lucky that I realized this quite quickly, and as such, I didn't encounter any major injuries. But I know people that have not been quite as lucky. They still continue to push their luck. They lift with shocking form. They don't understand their leverages. They don't understand how to set up properly. And as such, they encounter major injuries that will knock them out for 6 months, maybe even a year. So in saying that, if there's one thing that you can do is just nail down your form, that is going to pay massive dividends going forward. It's going to allow you to make a slow, steady amount of progress, and you're just going to have a better time doing it. So lifting too heavy kind of implies that you are not focusing on your mind-muscle connection. You're not focusing on growing the particular muscle that you're trying to grow. And that is another mistake, guys, that ties in with this. Training too heavy, lifting with your ego, it's going to bring in the mistake of not actually building up a proper physique for yourself. And this all ties into going too hard within the gym. I know it sounds a little weird, like you could actually put in too much effort in the gym. You could actually work out too hard. You could focus a little bit too much of attention on it. You definitely can. And I had a time when I was working out so hectically, so aggressively. I was training way beyond failure. I was doing setup on set, so much volume, so much intensity, so many drop sets, so much of this. And that's fine, you know, do that for a session every now and then if you really want to just push yourself to the brink. But if you're doing that day after day after day, workout after workout, eventually it's going to catch up to you. And it did for me. And in fact, I was working out one afternoon after school when I was a bit younger, and I was pushing myself to the absolute brink. I was training arms and back, I believe. So on the arms, I absolutely demolished the arms, like literally to a T. And now I was meant to play basketball as well after this. So knowing that in mind and working as hard as I did within the gym, that was absolutely insane. So I actually got home and I didn't end up going to basketball because what I was doing was just throwing up everywhere. Like I pushed myself to an absolute brink. My CNS was destroyed. So something you need to realize is training harder does not always equate to more results. There is a cap to how much you should be actually putting in order to what you're gonna get. And that all comes down to implementing a proper program. So one of the main mistakes was just not implementing a proper program, and as such, going too hard with what I thought was just more effort equals more results, and that could not be further from the truth. Now, tying into the amount of effort you're putting in, this is a big one, a big mistake that I see a lot of people make, and one that I made, in fact, in my beginning stages. The first time I ever went into the gym, I did not see much results. And that was because I did not stick to it for long enough in which the results actually began to come. This is a massive problem with people who start off on a New Year's resolution kick. They start for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks tops, and they're working quite hard. They're putting in a lot of effort, but it's not sustained, prolonged amounts of effort. It is just a nice quick burst, and you just can't force your body to make changes. You can't force your body to make more results come from your efforts. It is going to give you what it gives you. There is a cap and a threshold to what you can actually achieve. So trying to get more done in a shorter amount of time is fine, go for it, but you need to understand there is going to be limitations on how much you can change and adapt week to week. So many people get started. They'll start up maybe 14 days in and they'll go, well, I've been working this hard. I've been working in the gym for an hour to 2 hours a day. I've been doing cardio. I've been eating nothing but apples and spinach and broccoli. That's it. Not even cooking it. I'm just eating it raw. I'm even eating the stems. I'm not seeing results. What am I doing, man? You know what? I'm putting on this effort for nothing. I'm gonna quit. And the problem there is that they did not stick on long enough. So it's gonna take at least 4 weeks to see any notable changes. Now, as a beginner, it's gonna come a bit quicker. 4 weeks is a very good point, which you'll see some good results. And this is why it's so important to build this into a lifestyle as opposed to just focusing on some sort of quick fix. So when you build it into a lifestyle, you're now focusing on, all right, well, I'm going to the gym for a bit of fun. It's part of my lifestyle. It's part of who I am. I'm going in and I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. I'm pushing the weight that I'm meant to be pushing. I'm focusing on progressing in a performance standpoint rather than the weight, rather than the bodily changes, because they come a little bit slower. So I promise you, if you are a beginner starting out right now, just stick to it, because once the results come, that is when it can turn super hectically into a lifestyle. You feel that nice amount of change, that nice progress, and you go, wow, that's a good feeling. I want more of that. And you realize that it's just about a patience game. It's just patience. That's all it really is. Now, in terms of patience, another mistake that so many people make is not being patient with their nutrition. It's not being patient with their diet. So what I mean by that is being always opting for the quick fix. It could be reaching for the Uber Eats. It could be going to McDonald's. It could be going to this fast food. It could be quick, high calorie, high sugar, high fat, and everything else in between. Nothing really good going on. So one of the main mistakes that I personally made when I was starting out was just being way too flexible with my diet, because I thought that I could get away with it. But at the end of the day, the more flexible you are in terms of eating worse off food, the worse your results are gonna be. And converse to that, the better your nutrition is, the more effort and attention you pay to it, the better results you're actually gonna get. So there is so much more that goes into your nutrition than just calories, carbs, fats, and proteins. There's also the quality that is coming in from those 4 components. Without focusing on that, you're leaving so much results on the table. I guarantee you, just eating healthier, eating a bit better, focusing on micronutrients as well as the macros, as well as getting in a good amount of calories, is going to make such a dramatic shift in your physique, your health, your hair, your skin, everything else in between. I guarantee you, once you shift over to the nice, healthy lifestyle of eating very nutrient-dense food, you'll feel fantastic. You feel amazing. And that is what it's all about. It's about feeling good. So when you go in the gym, you make a bit of progress, you feel good. You get good emotions, a good serotonin kick. You get a bunch of dopamine by actually progressing towards a worthy ideal. And then you also feel amazing in your body. You're moving around, you're breathing a bit better. You can go for a walk. You can go do whatever you pretty much want, because you've done the hard yards. You've built yourself up. You feel great. You feel amazing. And that's what it's all about. So that is the 5 mistakes that I would really wish that I had avoided because I would have saved myself so much time. So I hope you avoid them as well, guys, and you'll save yourself some time. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by dropping a like and commenting down below. Absolutely anything. I'll get back to as many as I can. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll catch you in the next one. Arigato, Mr. Roboto.